What's up, Lego builders? Welcome back to Coconut Brick Studios for another week of building the UCS Acclamator. I'm trying to cherish these weeks and these episodes of building the UCS Acclamator because winding down to an end. We're nearing the end of the series, especially after you see, what's hopefully going to be taking place this week. I should only have 2, maybe 3 more episodes before the finale. So that's pretty crazy considering, just a few, it seems like just a month ago I was basically restructuring the whole design of the ship. This week I'm going to be focusing on the underside again. Now that I've got like the interior done and like the guts, it's time to plate it all off and make it look pretty. I would like to get hopefully all of the underside plated off, and if not all of it, at least figure out how to do most of it. That way next week I can quickly just knock out the rest of it in the beginning. This will be a really big episode because now we're really going to see for the first time what the underside is going to look like. All that being said, I feel like I've done enough talking. It's time to start building. All right, I'm kicking off this week with a mini haul. This was part of a larger haul, but I didn't want to show you the whole thing, just the stuff that pertained to the Acclamator. So I got some smaller greebling bits here. And then kind of the main reason I was excited to get this or ordered this for the Acclamator was these large 6x12 tiles. So these are going to come in very handy for this section right here. You'll remember I was talking about how it was kind of chunky right here, and I think this will fit that section better and just make it look smoother. And then I got a bunch actually, and I'm going to use them on these sides as well. The purpose of those is just to create more smooth surface area and show less studs, basically giving it a more finished look. I've also got some more greebling bits there. I should have some smaller 4x6s as well. I think those came in this order, so I'm going to have to go and dig those up. But what I'm going to be doing next is building this second panel and then readjusting this panel so that these tile things will be on there. So when I've got more to show you guys, I'll jump back in with another update. So I finished the 2 legs that are going to be kind of like the back stand area for the Acclamator, and I decided to flip it over to see what it looks like, and I'm pretty impressed with how it's looking so far. This is kind of your guys' first look at what it's going to look like, basically standing on its own with the engines intact and the rear intact with the bridge on. It cuts a pretty impressive figure, especially from the rear end. I feel like the rear of the ship is much more complete than the front. One thing I did want to show you guys on the top side is the middle red section. I tiled off pretty much all of it, and because I'm in the process of going through and swapping out plate for tiles on the upper side now that it's mostly done. And I'm not sure if this is too much. Let me know if this is too many tiles and if I should, add in some more plate. I did also tile off some more of the upper gray area as well. So make sure to let me know down below in the comments what you think of the tile to plate ratio and if you think I should do more of either one. Alright, I've been making pretty good progress on plating off the underside, and then I ran into a little bit of a problem right here. But first I want to show you guys what I've actually got done. So I got this back part plated off. You can see I'm going to have a big tiled space right here, and then plate over here on this side. And then on the front, I decided to just keep this area flat, and then this panel right here is going to come back and meet it at an angle like that, so you can see only a little bit of it is going to be visible. This was a bit of a challenge right here because it's on an angle, so any kind of, wedge plate that I clipped in like that. So I took one of these larger plates like this and actually bent it at an angle, and I did that by sticking a single 1x2 brick with a stud on the side, and then it just goes in at an angle like that, effectively covering off that entire area. It looks pretty nice. Obviously this underside is not going to be the best looking section of the mock, but that's okay because this is going to be underneath, out of sight. Up here I did connect these 2 stand legs because I noticed when I would set this down, these would often bend. So like one would be back here and one would be up here just because, the weight of the ship was dragging them around. So I decided to connect them. That way they would move in junction with each other, and I felt like that was just more stable. I got a lot of the flat area paneled off. This part actually has been easier than I thought it was going to be. Really, it's just sticking plate down, connecting it, making sure, everything lines up correctly, making sure this overhang matches this overhang, which all in all hasn't been too difficult. I'd say the biggest problem I'm dealing with right now is this middle section. So I'm trying to figure out what angle this needs to be at, because originally I had it all the way down here like this. But the problem with that is you can see when I stick this plate or when I stick this panel on the side, originally I had it like this, but you can see when I stick this plate on where it's supposed to go like this, the plate and this middle section aren't on the same angle. This middle section is a much steeper angle, so what I need to do is raise this up like that so they're going at the same angle, so they run into the bottom of the ship at the same time. That's been a bit of a challenge, so what I'm doing right now is just playing with different heights on this middle piece, trying to figure out where it needs to be so everything is going to plane into the bottom of the ship at the same spot. It's proving to be very challenging, but I hope I can figure it out soon, because if I can get this figured out, I should be able to do the entire other side extremely quickly as long as I have all the parts. And then, believe it or not, but we'll be done with the bottom. It'll be time to flip it over and work on just the last few things, which makes me really happy. Here's the last update for the week and kind of a recap of what I got done. So you can see the bottom is basically halfway tiled off. This whole section is done. Now I just need to replicate this on that side. This basically took me the whole week, but I anticipate this being much quicker. I'll probably do it in one fell swoop even, just because I don't have to figure out all these angles, these connections, figure out how everything's gonna go, what, angles, all that stuff, so I can just build on that side and copy here. There are a couple of things that I'm still not sure of. The first thing is these 2x tiles. I'm not really sure if I like either the look or the placement of them. I'm not quite sure what it is yet. And so when I build this side, I'm actually going to build an alternate version of this panel with tiling in different areas and using different tiles to see which one looks better. That's one thing that I really enjoy about building the same mirrored sides, is if you're not sure what you want your look to be like, you can build one way, build the other way, compare next to each other, and then go with the one you like better. And then another thing is, I don't like how plain this is. I might add some more tiling right here. Obviously this is going to be the underside. It's going to be the bottom of the mock. You're not really going to see it, but I do still want to make it look as good as possible. All in all, I'm pretty happy with how it looks. I really like how I was able to get this flat section to connect to the angled sections pretty nicely. This is one very unique aspect of the Acclamator, in my opinion, how the edges are flat, because Venator, Star Destroyer, Super Star Destroyer, basically most large assault ships are completely wedge shaped. There isn't really any flat sections, so if this were the Venator, it'd come all the way out to there. So that was a bit of a challenge, but I think I was able to do justice to that look fairly nicely. So this next episode, I'm going to be tackling this side, finishing up the bottom, guys, putting that front stand on, then we'll be flipping it over for one of the final episodes of the build series. I can't believe it's finally here. All that being said, it's time to hit that outro. I hope you guys enjoyed this week of building the UCS Acclamator. I'm very happy to have finally finished the underside, and now I can see what it looks like, because for a while I honestly couldn't picture it, just because the shapes underneath the Acclamator are so interesting, and there's so many different shapes that butt into each other and run into each other at different angles. It was really hard for me to wrap my head around how I was going to actually build that. Now that I have the general shape down, I might even go back through and kind of see if I can make it simpler and use less parts to save myself some pieces and money. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of building the UCS Acclamator. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or anything, feel free to let me know down below in the comment section. And if you like the video, don't forget to leave me a big thumbs up, and of course, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing so you don't miss out on any future content. But until next time, happy building.